I think I just found the most suspicious PC parts on the internet. When it comes to buying hardware, Temu is probably the last place you would look. But I had to find out what actually happens if you build a PC with these weird no-name parts. Can they perform like the big brands, or will they completely melt under pressure? And will they survive a full week of gaming and stress tests? If they hold up, Temu might have just unlocked a whole new world of PC building. Step 1, we're going to need a high-end test bench. I want to make sure that I am stressing these parts to their limits. Step 2, I'm going to be introducing the parts and their pricing. Step 3, of course, we have to test and benchmark. Do they hold up to their advertised speeds? Step 4, we're going to be taking it further and testing reliability with 7 days of benchmarking. Step 5 is my thoughts and final conclusion. Let's build this system. For our motherboard today, we're going with the X870 Phantom Gaming Nova Wi-Fi motherboard from ASRock, and we're pairing that with their brand new power supply. This is the ASRock Steel Legend 1200 watt power supply, which is going with our GPU. Plenty of wattage. This is an RTX 5090 from MSI. We're actually pairing that with a 9950X. We chose the 9950X over the X3D variant because it actually draws more power more often. And then we swing around here to the RAM, and we have the G.Skill Trident Z5 RGB, and we are pairing that with a 4 terabyte Crucial NVMe drive. Originally, Temu reached out about sponsoring a PC build, but honestly, I haven't worked with their products before, so we want to test the products first and make sure they're actually reliable. So here's a look at the Temu parts I picked out along with the pricing. Our first item here is some DDR4 RAM from a company named PUSKILL or PUSKILL. Please let me know in the comments what you guys think the brand name is. It is DDR4, 16 gigabytes running at 2666 megahertz. Yes, the speed isn't great, and I was expecting a 16 gigabyte kit, meaning they came together, but they are 2 separate sticks. So whether or not we have some issues there, only time will tell. Temu sold these exact ones for $71.65. There are much cheaper options, but honestly, the brand name's what made me get it. Number 2 is H-Flash. It is a 2.5-inch SSD. This has 128 gigabytes of storage. So we will be putting it to its paces to make sure that its advertised speeds are at least being met or very close. And that came in at about 28 Australian dollars. Our next drive is a 512 gigabyte SSD from Gogaoki, I think that's how you say it. Again, we're going to put it through its paces, make sure it's reaching its advertised speeds or close to it. And that one costs $74.61 Australian. Another 480 gigabyte SSD cost us $66.66. And the brand name is 3D NAND. Next, we have a Gen 3 NVMe drive from a brand called EAGET, I think it's called. The abbreviation is easy to get. 256 gigabytes, $40.73 Australian. Again, not cheap, but there are much cheaper options on there. We also got 3 fans. These kind of look like Lian Li rip-offs. They've got the infinity mirror design in the middle. They've got the light-up blades. They've also got the light around the outside and the infinity mirror design on the sides there. So we'll see how well these push air. We'll end up putting this system inside the case, see what the temperatures are like. Maybe we can compare Lian Li against these ones as well and just see how they all perform. And for 3 of these ARGB fans, it cost me $35.42, which was not a bad price. Last but not least, I got myself a cooler, which is actually a no-name brand. I just wanted to see if it was a knockoff or not, but I'm pretty sure it's all legit. This particular cooler can do 225 watts, and our 9950X CPU can go all the way up to 230 watts. This particular cooler set us back $40.44. Now, all prices are in Australian dollars, and they are a tad bit higher than what I would normally pay. But my goal here was just to try these unusual unknown brands. That said, Temu did give us a code DYZ2836, which lets anyone who downloads the app get a $100 coupon bundle. Using that code actually made this parts bundle a lot more reasonable, which is why I went ahead with it. Ambient air temperature is 26 degrees. We've got the cooler installed. Theoretically, it should be able to cool this CPU. Our first test is going to be run outside of a case to eliminate all other factors that will affect the temperature. And we're going to be running Cinebench 2024 for a 10-minute run to see how hot this CPU actually gets. Wow, yeah, very interesting results. So we knew that the CPU was going to push this cooler to its limits, and you can see we got 94.3 degrees on average, and this CPU's thermal limit is 95 degrees. Now that is scary hot. I'm thinking that this is most likely going to thermal throttle inside of a case, but we'll have to wait and see until we get it inside and then we test it over the week. Now guys, honestly, in a real world scenario, I wouldn't pair this cooler with this CPU because you want a bit of headroom as well. And you ideally want that CPU between 60 and 80 degrees Celsius for longevity of the CPU. Our NVMe drive, the first picture here, 256 gigabyte, actual capacity equals 230 gigabytes. So I've gone into disk management and you can see we actually have around 238 gigabytes. So honestly, I wish it was advertised as 230, but considering they are being honest there, I think that's a win. If we don't get at least 3,000, I will be disappointed with this drive. Well, check that out. I'm actually very surprised we got 3273.91 for the read. I've seen no-name brands not even get that close to advertised speeds. I'm pretty impressed with that. Our next test is the KOOTION 480GB SSD. And here we go. I'm expecting to see 500 megabytes per second read, 450 megabytes per second write. Listen guys, it's not often that you get a read and write speed on a drive that is actually more than the advertised speeds. Now this right here is true marketing. I hate when it ends up short of its advertised speeds. Look at that, that is just beautiful. There we go, it has passed and green status. Now I guess the only negative here is this drive only has 447 gigabytes and is advertised as 480 gigabytes. Next up is our H-Flash 128 gigabyte SSD. Here we have 550 megabytes per second read. Wow, excellent to see that we've reached advertised speeds. We didn't know what the write was going to be, but it is a little slower than our last SSD. This is a 128 gigabyte SSD, but we have 119.2 gigabytes of actual usable storage. Now, as we're running the test, the interesting thing here is it says it's had 24.8 gigabytes of terabytes written, which I don't understand how, because it's meant to be brand new, but it has passed the test. And we do have a green status. We've got this 512 gigabyte NVMe, and I absolutely love this review. Working great, now to see how long before or if it corrupts. And this is exactly why we're doing this review. Now on the website itself, they don't actually list any specs for the speeds, so we're going in blind. Yeah, look, it's fairly identical speeds to the previous drives. We have a little less write on there. Now it is meant to be a 512 gigabyte SSD, and we only have 476.2 gigabytes of storage being utilized, so we're missing out on quite a bit there. We have passed this test with a green status. Now to run our proper test of degradation over time, we are going to need to put our hardware inside of a case. Now I've got our fans as well. We won't be able to test them until we get them in, and we're going to put them directly up against the Lian Li SL Infinity fans because honestly they look exactly the same. Who is going to win? Let's find out. PC's finished, here's the idea. So we've got our Lian Li fans in here. I am going to run a Cinebench run. There will be glass on top, so we are going to be experiencing maximum heat on the CPU. I am expecting thermal throttling. However, if the Lian Li fans are able to bring in more air at 1500 RPM than the other fans at 1500 RPM, then we should see a higher score on the CPU because it won't thermal throttle as much. So let's see who gets the higher score, and that'll tell us which fans are better at airflow. All right, let's do 3 runs. First test, we got 2,118 points. Run number 2, only 4 points off of run number 1, 2,114. And we definitely are thermal throttling. There's some crazy numbers. And this is why you do multiple tests, because you can narrow down inconsistencies. We had big thermal throttling, and so we only got 2,027 points, which is about 90 points less than the previous scores. Guys, don't worry, just needs a kickstart. Come on, there is no way a fan is dead before we even start. There we go, I kicked it into gear. We just need a little love tap. We've set 1500 RPM. Let's test. Run number 1, pretty similar results to the Lian Li fans. Let's run number 2. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, this is the second time it's just beat Leon Lee's score, and I cannot find any stats or information on these fans. Like, there's nothing listed, but they seem to be performing all right. I mean, you can't make this up. All 3 runs beat out the Leon Lee fans, both fans operating at 1500 RPM. That's absolutely incredible. And check this out, it's actually a little cooler than the Leon Lee fans as well, which means we weren't experiencing as much thermal throttling. I thought this was gonna be the other way around. That just goes to show a lot of money goes into the brand name, the software, and also the quality of the product. As you guys saw before, one of these fans is half falling apart, half not working. So I don't even know if it's gonna last the whole week, but they performed just as well, if not a little better than the Leon Lee fans. Now, the Leon Lee fans actually do have a higher RPM that they can operate at. These fans wouldn't be able to keep up at those higher RPMs, but if you're on a budget, great little fans, as long as they're not falling apart. We've set up a DDR4 system for our PUSKILL or PUSKILL RAM. We've made sure that they're operating at 2666 megahertz inside the BIOS. And now we are running a mem test, and wow, we've been going for 2 hours and 15 minutes. We are almost finished, so I'll come back when we're done. So far, 0 errors. The RAM is looking good. 2 hours, 24 minutes later, and we have passed. 2666 mega transfers per second. Looks like it's passed with flying colors, CL19 timings, and we have 0 errors. So what I've been doing the last couple days is I've been running the PC for about 8 hours per day, stress testing the RAM. This program is called OCCT. You can see that the RAM is running between 80 and 85%. And this is day 3. So far, we've been running for 20 minutes. We'll come back on the hour and see if we have any errors, but so far there is no degradation yet. And would you look at that, no errors detected. Beautiful. Gugaoki day 3. I've been getting load on the SSD using Crystal Disk Mark for about 4 hours per day for the last 3 days. And as you guys can see here, as we finish up the test, we are still getting around the same numbers. So far on this drive, no degradation. Onto the KOOTION drive, day 3. But as this test finishes up, you can see that we are still achieving those scores that we achieved on day 1. So day 3, we're seeing no degradation so far. Day 3, H-Flash. Again, pretty similar results to day 1, no degradation so far. NVMe, day 3. Looks like the NVMe is doing very good. The numbers are looking solid. Looks like no degradation. Day 3 for the fans. I cannot get this fan to kick in. We'll see if it kicks in over time, but we've got to run our test anyway. Obviously, this will skew the results, so we'll have to wait and see. Okay, interesting results. A little bit behind the lowest run on the first day. Now, considering that one fan is not operating, that's still a pretty good score. Run number 2, 2,130. It's still keeping up, even with only one fan operating. Pretty impressive. Our third and final run, 2,126 points, fell behind the worst score from the first day. However, I'm quite surprised with how close it's been to the day 1 scores, considering a fan is dead. And just to show you guys, the temperatures are a lot hotter than day 1. It's day 7, guys, the final day of testing, and you wouldn't believe it, the fan actually kicked back in. We got it working again. Oh, it literally just stopped on me again. Let's see how these test results go. First run, similar to day 3, 2,124 points. Run 2, 2,125 points. And run number 3, 2,120 points. Pretty similar to run number 2. H-Flash, day 7, final day. Look at that, still achieving those amazing results there, keeping up with the results on both day 1 and day 3, so we have not seen any degradation in this drive. KOOTION, day 7, and these numbers are looking absolutely fantastic. Day 7, NVMe results are in. Looks like we've got some pretty impressive numbers, similar to day 1 and day 3. Day 7, Gugaoki. Again, another drive that is getting similar results to day 1 and day 3. And finally, day 7, our RAM. It has breezed past the test, guys. You can see that we have absolutely no errors detected. Well, there we have it. We bought some unknown brand name products and they performed extremely well. They withstood vigorous testing over the period of a week, and we only had one item die, which was playing up from the beginning anyway. With that said, we can get a refund on that item, so I'm quite happy about that because these fans performed extremely well. In fact, they performed better than a well-known named brand. But what made this well worth it was that $100 coupon bundle for new users when you search DYZ2836 in the search bar. And if I can give you guys some advice, the prices on Temu are changing all the time, so wait it out. The cooler literally halved in price. I think it's safe safe to say that yes, you can confidently buy PC parts from Temu. But another interesting thing is we bought a box of PC hardware for $100, not knowing if it was working or not, to see if we could make a profit and create a gaming PC out of it. Go check that video out here. Thanks for watching.